like you are looking for exam, or like we all come from, like I come from a place, you will wonder, I come from a very middle class families, and whatever I achieved, this is because of my own achievement. So as a student, when I started, I mean, this was all my own motivation. And if I would have looked around, it was very discouraging. So sometimes you have to find a way out, self-sustain yourself. So that if there is an element that need for achievement in you, so you have to put in a spark on that. You have to keep that. That is very important. So then you have to put those standards to achieve, and then striving to succeed. And sometimes in a kind of very uncompromising, I mean, a kind of environment which is more demanding, this is very important, right? Then you can sustain your interest. Like presently, right now, we have to self-sustain, we have to cheer up and all. We don't have a choice, right? We don't want to get, you can say, depressions and stress, right? Otherwise, we end up there. So we have, as a human being, always they have bounced back. This is the history of, and great people, or if we all have as a human being those elements. And then need for power. This is the second need. You want to control situation and all. We all want, am I right, to become manager, to become having responsible position and all. And then we want people. This is also very, very important. Need for affiliation. We are human beings. So we desire for friendly and close relationship. We love. We want to talk. That is what we are missing now, the friends and all. You understand this? Earlier we used to say, these are the, you can say, like, you know, the social websites and all. But now, if you look at technology itself, but that has making your life possible. But use of technology. I'm not saying social website, you sit on Twitter and Facebook and WhatsApp, that will kill your time. So it is double-edged weapon. Very important, guys. This is a double-edged weapon. I call it shaitan. You know shaitan, what is there? In our parlance, shaitan is that deviate. One is the angel, other is the devil. So this mobile phone is very good, but at the same time, this is the devil. So how you organize yours? Otherwise, it will kill your career. You will be there. Respect many of the students. They don't sleep on time, not healthy habits. They don't play, they don't exercise. Now the COVID is there, even before. I tell all my students and all. So you have to guard yourself with this shaitan. Use it, be it, don't go into his like, you know, possession, rather than you possess this. You have to have control over this machine. Very powerful machine. You can connect it anywhere in the world right now. And you can do anything like earlier lecture. I think, Mr. Gupta, are you a wing commander?
You're true, sir. True, very correct.
Yeah. So we have been flying for, I don't know, many years. With a wing, how many planes and across a squadron, am I right?
I was making machine to fly. I am an engineer, aeronautical engineer.
Okay. Whatever, but you are, I understood now your background, sorry. Even then, so very important is, like in any job, I mean, to having the control over the machine, like I just talking about. So it should not take your control in any situation. So that's the challenge now. So use that technology and then other. So anyway, so these are the theories of motivation. They say, you must have a higher need for achievement. You are going to have succeed, am I right? And those, if you want to a more leader, and also that need for power. At the same time, your need for affiliation is also going to, so you must have this need, am I right? I mean, you have to look at, we need people, am I right? So empathy is very important now, are always, but now it has become more, because, you know, when the crisis, we need to be nice. And we be nice before somebody be nice with you. So first you be nice. So as a student also, in any situation, empathy is not to take care of your career. I still remember as a student, like, you know, some of the students we have used to, I started my school in a hostel. Yes, Mahinder Gupta raised hand. Mahinder, at the end, you keep your questions. I will come back to you. Let me just run through. Yeah, so here is uh, individual efforts. This theory, the other theory is expectancy theory. So motivation, like as a, how we sustain as a student, motivation, like I was just saying, sometimes it is not to learning yourself, making your friend learn also. And sometimes to learn yourself, like I still remember my calculus classes, but to make somebody, or organic chemistry classes, I still remember, to somebody is very difficult. Why? To learn yourself in easy. But that's the key. That's the key. How good you are. So that kind of behavior is making you different, and that will give you peace as well. That will make you more worthy of what you are. At the same time, the blessing, if you believe in those natural or whatever, the God, Allah, what name, Bhagwan, or like Banaras, we all know. All these, the Baba's Kirpa, like, so this is like, Baba Vishwanath. So I still remember, I mean, like I was saying, my school days, the student, they used to sleep, and some of the good students, they used to get up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you understand? And they used to give message that they are sleeping to other students, and they used to do. Yeah, at that point of time, I can understand it was difficult for me, but to have that sort of, so extra effort is required. Coming back to the issue here again, self-motivation, or what is motivation? Motivation is the fire inside you. Evaluate your fire. Do you have fire? Ask yourself. You want to do, then you can do. Like I have a son, and I asked him, what do you want to do? I wanted him to be a doctor when he was in class 12. And I was able to sponsor. I said, go to any school and all. He said, no, I am not stupid. I don't want to be a doctor. I said, what are you saying? He said, look, I want to be an engineer. I want to study computer science. That's it. I'm not going to study, because my niece was studying, and her sister, cousin, and say, I'm not going to study 12 hours and 40 hours to study medicine and all these. I'm not stupid. And what I'm going to make, and what life after that. And he went into, and I was amazed. He said, yeah, I don't want. So you must be very clear what you are doing. You must be very clear. So I said, okay, though I wanted my dream, sometimes what happens, what parents have not achieved, through their children, they want to achieve. Don't do that. You love football, start playing football. If you love cricket, go and practice hard, make your name there. So whatever I mean, you have to make your commitment. You have to ask yourself, the desire, the fire should be there. You understand? Otherwise, you will be just here. This is a very important point. So I'm just talking another theory of motivation. Then I will come back to those generic things as a student, which is in the career aspiration, how you can, and what kind of challenges are going to happen, especially in present scenario. Like if you look at, there is another theory which explains our motivations. Like I say, motivation is the fire inside us. So there are three things he's talking here. Expectancy. What does it mean? How your efforts lead to performance. So believe in you, that is what we call self-efficacy, how much you believe in yourself. Self-belief is the key issue. So unless you have competency, skill, then if your efforts is going to lead to performance, you must have a belief, if I work hard, I will pass this exam. Either CDS on NDA. I have given once, I tried NDA, I remember when I was schools. And in fact, I was selected in one exam, but my family was thinking something, they wanted me to do this. And then I left all these, I qualified NET, JRF. I was chosen at ONGC as a personal officer at that time, but somehow my name was in panel, and I got that JRF position, so I getting good money. And the situation as such was there that, and the guy told, you are getting JRF, why you are going for all these? So they said, this is the better than that. I still remember Mr. Vinay Kumar. No, he was general manager in ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Commission, Tel Bhavan, Dehradun. I met him, he says, Swami, he said, Khan, tum kya karoge isko karke? He was also from Bihar. I am from Gaya. So he was from Patna, Vinay Kumar. He was a Delhi University graduate. And that guy was telling me, he said, go PhD. He was teaching at Delhi University at that time. He left and came to that company. So he discouraged me. After that, I didn't look at where was my name was in panel. I have achieved 7th position all over India in that rank. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, coming back to the issue here. So your effort and performance. So belief in you, if you work hard, this will lead to performance. So that is very important. Second thing is you believe in you that if I perform, I will get rewarded. This is the second most important thing, which we call instrumentality. In some situation, like, in political scenario or our bureaucratic system, the student work hard, somebody else who have parvi or who have connections or malice, who knows the ministers and all, he gets selected, or some fudge, everything coming. The student working hard, somebody else get, because he pays money. So sometimes we don't have that. If I work hard, I will get some, because it is fairness. If fairness doesn't exist, sometimes, we don't work hard. So even in any organization, if you're an employee, you see, if I work hard, I will not result. Why to work hard? So this is the second important. So you must have believed that if I work hard, I will succeed. The system is fair. And third thing is reward. What you are going to get, like for your performance is going to get reward. Third is the key issue is if your reward, whatever you are going to get is really attracts you. It is part of your personal goal. That's a relationship. If any one of them three is missing here, your motivation will become zero. So you must have belief in you that I will say expectancy. Second thing is believe that, if I'll work hard, performance, reward, relationship, you must have the fairness of the system or structure. And third thing is whatever I'm going to the reward making in my life or that career is really attractive to me. So I will give myself whatever is required. If these three existing in a given situation and you organize yourself, you are going to be successful. So be sure to have. So that's why as a organizer as well as a employer, or even for it is from both perspective, from as a student perspective or for institutional perspective, both are equally relevant. If you want to sustain your student, you have to ensure that performance is rewarded. If the student study, work hard, they get not poor grade, why they will study? No point. Let us look as here is, I'm talking these challenges, especially for my younger student, this is highly related to that. So I'm talking here about emotional intelligence, very important. And I'm talking how learning and unlearning is very important. No learning comes without unlearning. This is what Kurt Lewin says. So it is not possible to learn without unlearning. Because you have to make adjustment with the previous set of learning. Otherwise, you will just reject. You will just say, what Dr. Sami is saying, Dr. Khan is saying, it is all rubbish. It doesn't work. Maybe working somewhere else. You will just dump it down here. You understand? You say, there are many. Like sometimes our father says, or like in childhood, like, or like we say to our kids harmony, say, he doesn't know anything. Dad, you don't know. In your time. You understand? So that's the very important is learning comes with unlearning. That means first you have to listen. So listening is also very, very important. Most of the problem is we are very poor listener. I'm not going to check how good you are as a listener here, because I teach my student and I used to be very bad teacher earlier. I tell you in 2 minutes in the end, but I have too many stories to tell. When I was teaching in India, now I am a better teacher. Earlier I used to be very strict teacher. I'll tell you my story. When I was teaching in Delhi, I taught 6 years in Delhi. And I used to close the door. 5 minutes, nobody delay. This is Dr. Khan class. I used to teach MBA course at Jamia Millia, and I was teaching at Lodi as a full time. And 2 years I was with Shriram Center for Industrial Relations. So I used to just bolt the door. 46 people inside, and some of them of my age also, because it was MBA part time, and also now I revisit those, and then they say, I was little more strict and all, like as an army officer sitting here. So this was more in terms of, but discipline was there. That message I used to give, because this is very important in life to sustain, to organize yourself. If you don't have discipline, you cannot organize. But element of flexibility is also important. So sometimes we have to discipline with flexibility, but flexibility for the sake of performance, not for sake of enjoying free cake. Not, that is not flexibility. Flexibility is giving so that the power can, the individual can use it in a better way. Rather than having one way to do thing, you have many ways. That's flexibility. Anyway, coming back to, like I was saying, learning is the key issue. So for you as well, you have to open up, never shut your mind, experiment new learning, and you have to unlearn in that process. So any new learning will create problems to your mind. You say, what is going on? It is part of the process. So if, say, for example, I give you, and you have to create an environment. Like here, just my previous speaker was saying, like, you have to create an environment and then seriousness for that. So like you have to be in a zone. Then like I'm going to 1 year, 2 year devote to my careers to then you have to divide for this. This is very important. Like, say, for example, I just shared this. I mean, when if you try to add, say, for example, how you make ice cream. If you want to add sugar to ice, will to go a melt sugar, hard cube of ice, sugar will go? Answer is no. So most of us, sometimes the student, they are very hard, you understand? And sometimes as a trainer, as a teacher, as a father, or sometimes as a manager to my employees, they are hard. They have their own. They say, yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't know. We look at. And younger generation, right? They have a lot of egos now. There's a huge arrogance now. So the kind of, because you don't have, even if you have deprivation of stuff, otherwise, I don't know. The younger generation are more self-confident, more technologically, so they think we are more equipped. And I'm not saying all, but most of the cases across nation, I'm telling you. Either it in India, in GCC country, 3-4 country I have taught. I have been very regular to UK, US. I have visited Japan, China. I know very much about Australia. So I know the school system, the student there, you understand? They have different traits and all. So, but coming back to the issue, the arrogance, the big ego, that's you have to kill. So anyway, so if you want to add those eyes, it will go, it will not go. Take out from fridge. Keep that ice in a ball, you understand? A cone. That ice will melt out. And then you add your sugar. So this is the unlearning. That melting is unlearning. And then add your sugar. And then again you put relearning, reinforce and freeze. So this is what Kurt Lewin say. Otherwise you are not going to, you are hardcore, you are most of that. That's why the adult learning is difficult. Children, they are the best learning, we say. Because as an adult, we have our own way of looking at things, and most of the time we reject. We say what works for me, what doesn't work for me. You understand? There is a nice saying here. I will, just quote, I very interesting.
Hello.
Yeah, it's just I'll two couplet. Somebody has said, this is Nida Fazli. He says, वो सूफी का कौल हो या पंडित का ज्ञान. वो Sufi is the man, like, who is very close to God. वो सूफी का कौल हो या पंडित का ज्ञान, जितने बीते आप पर उतना ही सच मान. जितने बीते आप पर उतना ही सच मान. So this is talking about what the great saying and all these. Unless you have gone through process, that's your truth. So you have to create your own truth, but you have to be ready to listen. That's very important. Then you can experience. So that is the learning is the key issue. So, and no, like as a teacher, I said, so to be a good teacher, you have to be a good learner.
So this speaker is taking time more.
Next is 3 things I'm going to talk here is the most of us as a student or a teacher. How many minutes I have?
So
I'm just carrying on. Yeah. So there is a.
We will connect you. Huh? Okay. Be there. Huh? Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, so there is a CIA syndrome, which we say for the student or for anybody. We call it CIA is the agency we all know, well known, this intelligence agency. Yes. But these are three big diseases in us and a student as well. So I'm just addressing those students, and this is very, very relevant for them. Very, very relevant, believe me, to all of you. So, I mean, this is very much required. I mean, yeah, like he's talking about CIS syndrome. Like, what does it mean? It means that most of us, these three big viruses, like, you know, they are more dangerous than COVID. Yeah, COVID is also equally dangerous because it is also changing a strain, but this is also very dangerous disease we all have. The first thing is complacency. Being complacent. We'll do it later. Kal karenge. Tomorrow never comes most of the time. Here in our world, in Arabic, we call bukra. Bukra means tomorrow. Anything, any employee say, yeah, we'll see it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, man. So most of the time we are complacent, inertia in us. We'll keep things together, right? So piling up. And most of the time we are complacent. We'll say, like I'm just saying walking, okay, I'm gaining weight now being inside. So tomorrow I will start walking. I will quit my smoking, say for example, tomorrow, next week. I mean, this complacency or anything from, and it is equally relevant for individuals, either as a student, as a father, as a teacher, or in any situation, right? So it is not disease which is equal, and this disease is equally relevant for organization as well, or for department as well. Even for countries, this is the national culture part of them. Like in our part of the world, we are very easy. Take it easy, man. Enjoy your life. We are complacent. Hoga na, dikkat kya hai? So that complacency, that kills. It is the big enemy. You have to be organized. You have to do things on time. And if you will left behind, believe me, if you are complacent, never. If you are, most of the company, have you heard about a Nike? There was a company called phone making company. Nowhere. They sold all this business to Microsoft, Nokia. When I came at that time, 10 years back, that was the only phone. Nokia, everybody was using Nokia phone, the best phone, mobile phone. Nowhere Nokia, the iPhone and Samsung taken away. Because they didn't launch like iOS system here, iOS, and they came up with Android technology. They left behind. A BlackBerry, I visited BlackBerry in Waterloo, their headquarters in Canada. My nephew was working there 1995. And I have seen that company was a huge company at that time. Where it has gone. Obama was flaunting his pager, BlackBerry, if you remember. Used to be very connected man at that time, used to be very. And WhatsApp came, then killed everything, am I right? So where is BlackBerry now? Went into, out of window, nowhere. So this is how they are left in terms of research and development, innovations. So if you are left as an organization, you're left behind. Same with the individuals. You have to reinvent yourself. As a student as well, no complacency, am I right? You have to work hard, then you will be there. So this is the first disease. You be watchful. I'm telling all students, forget this large company, what they have done, or which department or this thing, but it is relevant for you as well. So never be complacent. Either you are taking your careers or what exams you are preparing or what you are looking for. Never. The second thing is ignorance. We know it most of the time. We think, yeah, I know enough. So if we have little knowledge, we think we have no more than enough. Ignorance. Big ego, right? We say, yeah, we know it. Never. Keep learning, updating. That's why I'm saying. So ignorance is the biggest enemy. Presently in a knowledge management sector, IT sector we are talking about. So ignorance is the key issue today, right? Disease, big disease. Most of the organizations are killed Similarly with individual as well. Like say, for example, I love, believe me, at this age, I love to be a student. I did my PhD in 1993. How many years? 27 years I am teaching. 1 year I was research associate at BHU. But still I love to be a student. I don't leave. And every year I learn, I do some training and all. So I just learned case discussion with some of the software and all, like, and I love that. So I keep learning. I did some program in US, somewhere here, even locally, even so I learned a lot from the street. So not necessary, like, sometimes to learn from big. Any situation you can learn. So your bent of mind is to update yourself to knowledge, open yourself to learning. So that is the ignorance. This is, you have to train yourself, skill updation and all we're talking about. So as an organization also, like, they are left. Who doesn't have R&D or training and development, they don't train. I mean, nowhere you left behind them, right? So those companies, of course, the job, or as an individual, even if you're running a small business, say, for example, you have to find out ways how I'm going to do that. And third thing is the biggest enemy, arrogance. I am this. I have tons of money. I am son of this. I have very beautiful body, a strong body, or I am a beautiful face. If the girls and boys, yeah, I go to gym. I have got like, I run, I will do this. Any kind of arrogance, either of your body, physical bodies, or you have tons of money. It can be source of arrogance, can be any, am I right? Most of the time we flaunt those things, our money, our power, authority, and all these. If you are a big manager, I'm right. If you're general manager of a company, CEO of the company, or a professor, say, for example, or any situation, say, yeah, I'm this, or you are a DG or say direct DIG or for the range and all, or your DM of the city, or chief minister, or a prime minister, or president, am I right? So this is the key issue, arrogance. So arrogance is that big ego which we have, that kills us. You have to be humble. If arrogance comes, you will reach nowhere, believe me. Arrogance is and a deadly combination, ignorance and arrogance. So if you have ignorance and arrogance both at the same time, oh God, you are gone. Because the stupid doesn't know he is a stupid. So he doesn't know that he doesn't know. Who is going to tell him? Sometimes you find some of the leaders, some of the, even like, that he doesn't know that he doesn't know. Because of the arrogance, we cannot self-evaluate. So these are three big diseases and all. And then most important thing for us, especially in this right now, is environment and challenges emerging, whatever career you take post-COVID, is this kind of like your emotional intelligence is going to be. So if you're going for any job, and especially in army and all, like I give you US Marines, say, for example, they check your emotional, they don't look at your intelligence and all, like SAT and all these kind of tests. Personality tests becoming very important. Like all this SAB interview, am I right? Even in CDS and all NDA, this interview, am I right? They do a lot of your evaluation. Even civil services now. So either you are for any, because you will have a lot of power on you, am I right? You carry big gun and you have make decision. So your emotions, you have tons of power, am I right? So you have to conduct your emotion, stress. So how you deal with the stress and challenges. These are the key issues, and how you train yourself to deal with the anger issue, violence. Now people get provoked and killed anybody on a small thing, in a small road accident happening. So this is equally relevant to be a good employee. If you want to get a student, kill your anger. Most of the, I'm telling you, believe me, you may like it or you may not like it. Most of my students everywhere I see, like arrogance, I say, and anger, frustration, depression. So you have to deal with, you have to control your emotion. So who is emotionally intelligent? So they call it not intelligence per se. Now, how good you, of course, you require intelligence. I'm not saying, but it is not the cutting edge. You are a scientist sitting in a corner, you'll be, no. You have to be good in emotional. You have to deal with people. So you have to be aware of your feelings. Sometimes people getting like, their voice is getting up and all, they will be fighting and all, or sometimes they are shouting. You tell them, even sometimes why my wife says, yeah, your voice is going up. I say, no, मैं कहाँ जोर से बोल रहा हूँ. I'm okay. He said, नहीं, आपकी आवाज ऊपर जा रही है. So even sometimes we are not aware that we are getting angry, our voice is going up, we are shouting, am I right? But if you practice, you can learn. So very important is aware of your feelings, all sort of feelings. Then you manage your emotions, controlling your emotions. They say 6 minutes, 6 seconds. If you come here, there are different level of memory, I'm just saying. So if you just little think, cognitive analysis you do, and analyze, what happened within that 6 seconds, otherwise the information come and somebody, and you shot, you can kill also if you have a gun. But most of the time it happens. We say the rage, am I right? But if you give 6 seconds just to evaluate what other is saying, the moment you process, your whole reaction is going to be different. Let me, if any question, I will raise, your hands are coming, but at the end, inshallah, I will answer those questions because I know I can speak a lot on this. Self-motivation. I told you as a student and the previous lecture, nobody is going to tell you. We don't love policing. Believe me, I don't love policing. And I will not educate parent. He will tell you, teach and study.